Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I wanted to talk about something that I saw last week actually that was really interesting, and it seems like there actually may be a new spin-off or a new project in development right now, and it seems like, we could get an announcement at some point, I feel like next year at Comic-Con or maybe even sooner. So yeah, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3 is airing in a little over a month from now, right? It's just next month on September 7th, and so it's gonna be here very, very soon. And yeah, I'm excited for Season 3 and to see where this is all going here, because it does seem like, in terms of what they had planned for Season 3 and 4, that they knew that it was likely going to be ending after Season 4, and it seems like they've known for quite a while, like since, I guess, earlier, actually, I would say it was last year probably, that they knew that it was likely going to be ending with Season 4, because according to this post, and we'll get into it, but it does actually seem like that was the plan all along, and it had nothing to do with Dead City Season 2 and the ratings being lower than, I guess, normal. So I saw a post from @TWU Filming on X, and it actually says tides are now officially shifting. Can say another Walking Dead universe project is on the horizon. I was told a few months back that Dead City and Daryl Dixon will end after Season 4. So obviously, this was a reference to a post made, I guess, earlier this year where there was something about, the tides shifting or whatever in the Walking Dead universe. And everyone was like, well, what's going on? And, is it a good thing or bad thing? And I just remember the post saying good vibes or whatever. And so, I guess ever since that, I've always been under the impression that wherever we were going to find out some information at some point, maybe after Dead City or at Comic-Con. That was sort of what I expected. And obviously, at Comic-Con, we did actually find out some, I would say, really amazing news that The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon will be ending with Season 4. Now, I will say, I know it's weird to say that it's amazing to know that the show's ending after Season 4, but it's more that we know that there's a direction now with The Walking Dead, right? Like, I would say that's really the only thing with it. Like, if it was going to go on for 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons, to me, I'm okay with that, but I would like them to come out and say that, like, yeah, we're going to be going on for this many seasons, most likely, and then we're eventually going to get to, like, this thing or whatever, right? Like, that would be really cool to actually, to know, but we weren't getting any of that, and it just kind of seemed like, the shows were just going to go on forever, and it was like, well, when are the characters going to reunite? What's going on? Like, And so I think this here gives us really amazing direction for The Walking Dead. And I think a lot of people are feeling a lot better about The Walking Dead right now. And so I will say the post does say that they were told a few months back that Dead City and Daryl Dixon will end after Season 4. So, obviously we know that with The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, but with Dead City, they're filming Season 3 right now. Actually, not yet, but very soon they will be filming Season 3. And obviously they already announced Season 3. And so, obviously to announce Season 4 would be kind of crazy. But according to the account here, at least in the replies, it does seem like they're going to be filming back to back, but Dead City is going to have a Season 4. So it does seem like that's likely going to be what's happening here, is these two spinoffs are going to have 4 seasons in total, and then we'll see what happens after that. But we've all seen the interviews. It does seem like there is something planned, or I don't know what's happening after that, but Norman Reedus was saying, like, this is not the end for Daryl kind of thing, right? So, I don't know where they're going afterwards. I imagine he's going to be reuniting with other characters, because that's the one thing that you can easily do to make everything so refreshing and so exciting, right? And so to get into the other part here, it does say, can say another Walking Dead universe project is on the horizon. That is really interesting to me. So, there's a few things when it comes to that, right? Like, all of us are assuming that it's going to be some sort of project with, Daryl reuniting maybe with Rick or other characters. And I think it makes the most sense. Like, obviously an original spinoff that could happen. I would say that would be something that honestly I would actually really love. I think that's really what they need to have, is a show with all the characters there, just like The Walking Dead, and then a spinoff. Like, that was something that just worked really well, because we all like watching the show with all of the characters there and seeing how the story just sort of works overall, right? And then there's like the spin-off with like Fear the Walking Dead, where it was something that obviously if you really liked The Walking Dead, you probably were watching Fear the Walking Dead, but it was just something else to watch, I would say. And I think that is something that the spinoffs are having a hard time sort of, like, I would say The Walking Dead in general right now is having a hard time, like, keeping the excitement there. And I think it's because the characters are split up. I really do. I think it's that, but it's also mostly that there's not a lot of connections between the spinoffs. And so it's hard to get excited about, like, this spinoff or this spinoff because it feels like they're not going to be, making a lot of connections with the spinoffs, because I do think what they're trying to do is really make it like these standalone stories with these characters out there surviving, and not so much like Marvel, right? And I do understand that argument where if these characters, reunited in a way where it was a lot like Marvel, and, how those characters are sort of all connected and everything, like, I do understand how some of that might not be the most exciting, but I would say that, I don't know, I think it would be exciting. That's the thing. Like, I think that type of thing is sort of what you need to do with The Walking Dead, but you just need to make it a little bit more grounded, right? Like, way more grounded than, how the characters are connected and how all of those stories are told in Marvel. So I think The Walking Dead can do that, and that's sort of what I think has been the issue for The Walking Dead in like the last year or so. I think there just needs to be a lot more connections, and obviously they're starting to do that right now, which is exciting. And I think the news here of, the show's ending here after season 4, and the fact that it looks like another Walking Dead universe project is on the horizon, I think that's really incredible. Now, obviously, this is just a rumor. This is not confirmation or anything like that. Like, the one thing is, I really do trust this account. Like, this account seems to know a lot of stuff, and so I really do, trust what the account is saying here. So it does seem like there is going to be another project that is actually, in the works right now, but it's one of those things where it's just, is it an original series, or is it going to be the characters actually reuniting? Now, I do think it's actually going to be the characters reuniting. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of what Norman Reedus was saying, like, he was saying that Daryl's journey is far from over, or something like that. Anyways, I'm paraphrasing, but it really did seem like, based off of what they were saying, that The Walking Dead is not over. Like, they all wanted to say that season 4 is the final season, and like, thank you for watching and making the spinoff, what it was. But they were also really saying that, like, this is going to be the end of like this iteration of the story. And you know what I mean? So it was a lot of that, and it was the end of like the European adventure kind of thing for Daryl and Carol. So like, when I look at all of that, I'm just like, well, yeah, like, they're trying to say that this is going to be the end of this. And obviously they can't officially say anything else that will happen afterwards, because obviously they can't, because of AMC. Like, AMC has to officially announce that. But like, it makes a lot of sense to me. Like, it does make so much sense. And so I do want to talk about that for a second. So what type of spinoff could actually happen here? Now, obviously, having Rick and Daryl reunite is something that everyone wants, right? Like, I think that is something that everybody is like really excited about. And I think it would be really cool to see all the characters reunite. Now, the only thing about that is, does it make sense for the story to have the characters all together right away? We'll have to see how season 4 ends. And it really is going to be one of those things where I think you have to get like a lot of the characters from The Walking Dead to be in the spinoff. Like, there has to be a way to sort of explain it where you have everyone together again, kind of thing, right? So we'll have to wait and see how that works and sort of what the story is going to be. But obviously they want to do something there. And Rick and Daryl, I think them reuniting would be absolutely amazing. It's just, does Andrew Lincoln want to do that at this point? I mean, obviously he wants to, but it's just, I think what it comes down to is, is this going to be a multi-season thing or just like a one-season thing? And I think that's really what we're waiting for right now, is really just that. Like, is it going to be 10 episodes, 8 episodes, and it's just one season? Or is it going to be like 4 seasons? I really think that AMC would want, honestly, all of the characters to reunite and have it like 4 seasons. And so starting in like 2028, going until 2032, and just telling this final story with all the characters again. I think that is something they would probably really want, right? Because obviously the ratings would be a lot higher, right? And I mean, just to see the characters reuniting and just to tell a story there, like, you can have so many characters on that show, like Morgan, could be there. And like, they all don't have to be there right in season 1. Like, this could be way later, like, in season, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, like, you could have characters show up here and there. Like, there's so many things that you could do, and you could really finally end everything here And honestly, like the 20-year anniversary for The Walking Dead is in like, well, I guess 5 years from now, but all of this could end around there, and it would be really like this epic, like 20-year journey, right? And then at that point, I guess he would probably, I guess, reboot The Walking Dead, right? Like I'm assuming at some point that is going to happen because, I mean, again, it just kind of makes sense. I think at a certain point, like you're going to reboot the story overall, recast all the characters, and tell a story from the beginning again because, I mean, it looks like Marvel's going to be doing that soon, right? And that's the thing too. Marvel has a plan of like whatever it was like a 7-year plan for everything. And then eventually it's going to reboot everything. And so I don't know if they're going to be recasting characters or like, I'm not sure what that means overall, but like, I really wonder if that's going to be the thing like in the 2030s is a lot of these stories from a lot of, you know, like Marvel and everything like that are going to be rebooting because it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. It's been like 20 years since the show premiered at that point, like for The Walking Dead anyways, and for Marvel. Really, at that point, it'll have been like 20 plus years. So it's eventually going to happen. Like, I feel like we have another 5 to 10 years at the absolute most with these characters here and these actors playing these characters. And I think after this, it's really, I think it will be rebooted and there will be a whole new story. And, you know, there's a lot of excitement when it comes to that because there's, you know, the whole thing of like, well, are they going to tell the story properly now? And like the casting could honestly work a lot better. I know it's kind of hard to believe that right now, but that does happen. Like some actors get these roles and they're just way better as the character, or there's something about the show that is just different and people prefer that. It'll be a whole new generation sort of thing watching the show, and you know, they could stick more to the comics. Maybe Carl doesn't die sort of thing, right? Like there's a lot of things where like it makes a lot of sense. Rick could be there, you know, the entire time, and he could actually be there during the Whisper arc. Like they could really do a lot with the reboot that I think a lot of people would like. I know there's a lot of talk about an animated series. And anyways, to get back to what I was saying, I do think that is likely going to be the next project here that will happen after these spinoffs. And it's just really interesting that this account, you know, posted that because I wasn't expecting that. I mean, to have that, you know, sort of, I guess it's not necessarily confirmation, but, you know, it is a rumor, I guess. It's interesting, you know, like I think this spinoff, if it is reuniting all the characters and there's like this one like final story, if it is like, you know, 2 to 4 seasons, that could really work. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. What do you think the new project is going to be? Obviously, it's just a rumor right now, but it does seem like something is going to be happening right after. And I really do feel like, I mean, it makes sense that it's going to be the characters reuniting. Like, I really do think that's likely what's going to be happening. But yeah, definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.